Hello, welcome everyone to Topic Wonders, number 40. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Ben. What's up, Ben?
I took an arrow to the knee.
What's up, Mike D?
I'm on my knee.
What's up, Sally?
What's up?
What's up, Scott?
Hello.
What's up, Vaughn?
Living in the free world.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so now we were talking off air, and you think that your opinion is going to be different from mine on this topic, right, Mike D?
I don't know. I haven't heard your position.
All right. Well, this is the way I feel about it.
I know if it's the fact that you love Star Trek tonight and I hated it, then we're going to disagree.
No, definitely not. Okay, so here's my thing. When I was in school, as I said on Facebook, the rule is, like, we had to say the national anthem, we had to stand at attention, pledge allegiance, and that was a rule. You had to do that. In this case, what we have in today, we have people that are paid millions of dollars from the sports to that they have to say Pledge of Allegiance. Now, it does say in their rule book, from what I understand, that if they don't stand and they don't pledge, that they get fined or other penalties because it's part of the sport, that it's never been a problem forever, okay? So now you got to keep in mind, this is not a thing where they're on their free time to protest. They are employees, in this case of the NFL or Major League Baseball, that they're working, being a player for the sport, and the rule is for them to stand at attention, Pledge of Allegiance, with respect to the flag. So, again, they are not on their free time.
And we do understand rules are not laws, necessarily.
Right, but they are not on their free time, okay? They are on the clock. And their employer had designated to them that it's never been a problem for decades. But now, ever since, what's the guy's name?
Colin Kaepernick.
That for years he stood at attention, but because he wanted attention all of a sudden.
You don't even know the guy's name and you want to debate this?
Colin Kaepernick, or whatever his name is.
Damn.
No, but it's not about him. It's about the after effects
No, I know.
that he caused. Yeah, because, again, here's the thing. Since that happened last year, the ratings were in the toilet for the NFL. Fans who don't like that garbage, they want to watch the game, but they also respect the flag, turned off the TV when that happens, and they lost millions and millions and millions of dollars.
And that's democracy in action. If somebody doesn't like a product, they can vote with their feet by walking away from it. Yeah.
And now we're only a couple weeks into the football season, right?
Right.
And already they are estimating astronomical numbers of millions of dollars that they are going to lose.
Oh, jeez.
Now, another thing that doesn't help the situation, which in my mind, I don't have a problem with the president voicing his opinion, okay? Just like Obama had tweeted and is allowed to talk, the president is not having any restrictions on freedom to speak his mind. And again, it's his opinion. It's not necessarily, so if he makes an opinion on the NFL, and his opinion is if they break the rules and if they don't stand and if they kneel, they should be fired or suspended or whatever, that's his opinion.
Exactly.
Do I expect to see CNN or everybody else cover this all day long, that the president is trying to destroy the NFL? No. Is there more important things to talk about, like Korea? Yeah. North Korea?
Yes.
Yeah. But we're not seeing that. So I know the ridiculousness of it. So now we got all this stuff factored in a mixing bowl, and now we're going to talk about it. And I feel, no matter what, that the player should respect the American flag, should stand and pledge, because it has nothing to do if they disagree with police, if they disagree with, we've always had people that disagree with the political parties. They've never done stuff like this before, okay? When Obama was president, nobody was going against the flag and nobody was going whatever. Only now it's the case. And again, what was his reasoning why he did it originally? Wasn't it something to do with the police, that he didn't like police brutality, and he don't like that America's doing nothing about police brutality? Okay, that has nothing to do with the flag, though.
He was doing a demonstration quietly and peacefully about his opinion about something.
On the clock.
Well, here's the thing. It's not against the law, number one.
I know that.
And number two, we all know you can take a stand against some things, but you have to pay the repercussions and be aware of those, possibly, as a result of it.
And what's his repercussions now? His repercussions now that nobody's hiring him, correct?
Was that... I'm
asking you because I'm not really aware. What's his repercussions now? Is he having a problem getting hired with the team?
Yes, he's having difficulties trying to get back on, and that's what he's probably whining more about. It's because
and we all know that politics are heavily involved in everything that goes on. Here's the thing with me. I don't want to take up everyone's time on the cast because I want to hear what everyone has to say. I guess starting into this, I would say I've actually listened to some things about this, and I've got my own opinion about that, which I will share, obviously. But
hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Chris.
Chris hates America and the flag, by the way. He told me
he does not.
Oh, yeah, let me tell you. I'm actually on my knee right now. I've been on my knee all day whenever they've been playing the national anthem and stuff.
Sorry, Chris.
Let's hear what Chris's position is, because I got a feeling I might be in the minority oppositional side of this, so I want to hear what everyone has to say.
Is this like a Topic Wonders or something?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I really don't care, to be honest. And if that's the way they feel the need to protest, I don't think it's going to accomplish anything. But hey,
Well,
whatever.
do you think it will accomplish getting them hard to get work or fired or whatever?
No.
Because that guy can't get a job, can he?
Some team will pick him up. Trust me. The NFL is in such shambles now anyway because of the quality of player that they have. So I mean,
But I mean, we need to address the initial side of this before the repercussions. So I mean, where are we at with that as far as on the front end of it? I mean, should they not do that?
You're talking Chris?
Anyone? Yeah, anyone. I mean,
I think it's if you're kneeling during the national anthem, I mean that's not accomplishing what they think it's going to accomplish. Nope. I mean I think some of these people obviously or they think that if they do this it's going to send some sort of message to Trump or whatever they're protesting against, because I have a feeling that this isn't some sort of coordinated effort. They're just kind of doing it because they think, oh look, they're doing it, so maybe I should do it too. But I really don't see the point. Like when people in the past protested against things like the draft and women's rights and whatnot, or they protested for, I should say, excuse me. There was a point to that.
We may have Sandra on this cast.
Okay.
There was a point to that, but this to me is just like the national anthem is not. I know it's a symbol or that represents the country, but like, are you protesting against America or are you protesting against the president? Because
wasn't he do that before?
Like they're the same thing. They're not the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
But wasn't he protesting last year before he became president?
He was protesting against the way police were treating the young black men in that video that came out, and then overall with that.
What does that have to do with the American flag?
But what we're talking about is Colin Kaepernick, the NFL player, taking a knee and all that stuff. So we just started the cast. So I thought you may want to chime in on
what is the premise on this now? I mean,
Colin Kaepernick.
I mean, so people are bitching about that he shouldn't be on his knee?
Well, I mean, that's one side of it, yeah.
What's happening is a lot of players now are taking the knee, and people are getting turned off by it by turning off the TV and not watching the game, causing millions of dollars in lost revenue for the NFL, and now Major League Baseball is also doing it, and fans are getting upset where they don't want to see that before the game. So now what's going to happen now? I mean, what's your take on it? I mean, he's an employee that he's not doing it as free time protesting. They're doing it while they're employed as players of whatever sports organization.
So
And
if you see something wrong going on and it's pervasive, why should you not fucking say something about it and be able to say something about it? It's not about profits. You see something, it's so pervasive.
But they're not speaking. But they're not saying anything. They're just taking the knee.
Okay, they're being silently. They're being very silently.
Protesting silently.
But you don't know what they're protesting. How is that by sitting on your knees? They could be protesting against men. They could be protesting against cops. They could be protesting against the war. You have no fucking clue what they're protesting, and they're just silent. If you want to protest, you go out there and say, hey, I'm against this, or hey, I'm against that on their free time.
You're fucking stupid or something. You have to get it.
God.
I mean, you're fucking stupid if you don't get it. They're protesting silently, peacefully, on their fucking knees.
For what?
Don't you get about it?
Well, I think the thing is, like,
while they're getting paid as employees against the rule book that they're supposed to follow.
Well, the thing is,
Follow
is
the slavery rule. Be a slave. Be one of
That's not a slave. It's a rule that's been in NFL that if they don't stand at attention, they get fined or they get suspended or whatever.
Fucking lied, Capriccioso.
God
Wait,
damn.
what? Hold on.
She's being
Hold on. They don't mention last names on the cast here, so I don't know why you're getting offended, but I don't mention your name on here. So,
well, the thing that we were talking about was the fact of people having a right to, in America, have free speech to quietly protest something. But if it's in a policy of their job, just like any job we have to bear the repercussions of something like that. So we have to go, hey, you know what? If I'm going to do something that's against the company byline, then I may get fired for it, right? So I have to look at the repercussions.
But it's not, though. It's not against the byline.
I haven't read that. I don't know. Joe says it is.
Well, have you read the contract between them? You know, have you read that contract?
So the where I stand with this, I guess I'll chime in here. The thing with me is, and I agree with Jesse Ventura. I've listened to some differing views on this, but I tend to agree with Jesse Ventura, who actually was in the military, you know, fought for the country, Navy SEAL. He said he is for people's ability to quietly protest because he said that's what America's about. First Amendment, free speech.
Otherwise, move back to Iraq.
Yeah, because that's the point of the flag, is being able to do.
Move to these other countries that it doesn't allow free speech or free silent speech.
Yeah, I mean, if that's in a contract that they signed, fine. I mean, they know they're entering into an agreement where they know they can get fired for certain things.
I don't think it really is.
I'm not sure.
Show me it is. Prove it.
I just want to put my 2 cents or a penny into this pot. It all boils down into perception of things. Yeah. You're on national television, and people, even though it could have been, I don't know the bylaws, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know all about that. But when somebody kneels down doing a national anthem that people know that's closely so related to the history of America, people are going to safely assume that he's being against it or what. That's how people perceives it. I mean, maybe it's a peaceful protest, but I think what is concerning them is that when people on television sees this, they're going to automatically think, hey, he's defying the flag. He's not doing what normal, what we've been all taught to do.
Normal?
Yes, normal.
So now, what if they're actually, they feel so convinced or so, they have a feeling about this. Maybe when they're in the need, maybe they're praying as well.
Yeah, that would be what I would assume.
Yeah.
I mean,
the problem is
but-
all these taking of the knees is it's not that they're praying, it's that they've all designated that they're in a sign of disagreement of something that's going on in the States. And I'm of the belief, and Neil McCoy, who's going to be here in Tulsa during the state fair, he's done like the Pledge of Allegiance ever since this last election, just before the last election. And he pretty much says, cover your hand, take your head off during the pledge. Okay, having that said, I'm of the belief that if you kneel down during the national anthem, you're showing great disrespect to your country.
Can we do that?
And yes, a lot of military personnel have come out and said that's their right. They have the right to do it. But I'm of the belief that you suspend just for long enough to do the flag, suspend your little protest, and during the halftime you can come out and say, okay, this is why I took my knee. This is what I've done. Now, if Kaepernick had done this, like maybe, let's say, a year after he was signed, people would be equally pissed, but they wouldn't be as pissed since he did it 6 years later. I'm also of the belief that if you do it too often, that team should forfeit the game. Because if they're representing their team, then the team is going to suffer for their actions. First time, yes, you're kicked off. Second time, your team gets suspended. And what I'm getting sick of is I'm also seeing on Facebook high schoolers and kids of like 6 and below are taking knees, and half of them are not even understanding why Kaepernick's doing it, and they're starting to call it the Kaepernick.
Well, I got a question for Sandra. I got a question for Sandra, actually. I got a question for Sandra. Do we have ESPN?
What?
Do we have a network called ESPN 1, 2, 3? Do we have Monday Night Football, ABC, CBS, NBC? Do we have reporters that constantly interview the players because they want to hear their side of the view on what they're thinking about? Do we have that? So at any opportunity, if a player wanted to do an interview with ESPN at any time to voice their opinion, like Colin has spoken about his opinions on the air, despite just also taking the knee. He explained himself, right? So now we got everybody that's just following the leader, so to speak, and just taking the knee, and you have no idea what the hell they're protesting. But he did speak out and say it wasn't like they had to beg to get an interview. Anybody, any player that wants to speak, they run with that microphone to talk and hear what they have to say. So you have many different outlets like ESPN, Monday Night Football, ABC, CBS Sports, NBC Sports, anybody that would love to interview the player, and they could protest their views, their opinions on the air for all their fans to see.
Right, but the problem with doing that.
You're defining the rules where they.
No, I'm not defining the rules. I'm telling you that they have options to protest.
So
all we're seeing is them taking the knee.
Their option is doing it as they're doing now, and they
on the clock.
Yes, and they
while they're working.
Well, yeah, whatever. Yes.
So if you're a nurse in a hospital, and your directors come in and they said to you that, oh, we're gonna have a moment of silence, we're gonna do a pledge of allegiance. You're gonna take the knee in the hospital, and you're gonna make a statement while you're on the clock that could jeopardize your job.
They have.
I'm asking you a question.
Well,
are you gonna do that? You're on the clock. They're on the clock too. You're on the clock.
In a free country or not?
No, but they're on the clock. They're on the clock, and they're working.
Are we in a free country, or we are not in a free country?
We are in a free country, but I'm asking you a question. Would you do that? Would you do that?
There you go.
Would you express your free rights, and would you rebel while in the workplace?
Well, here's the thing. People have the right to do something, but they also have to recognize their repercussions. They could be
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So Colin can't have a job right now, yet.
They still have the right.
Of course they do. I never said they didn't.
The
I never said they didn't.
to stand up for wrong if they see it.
Correct.
And they're peaceful about it. They're not saying a word.
Well,
They're not saying a word. They're being very silent. They're being very respectful. They've got their hand over their heart. They may be praying for the rest of us.
okay. And I'm also being peaceful when I protest against their protest by turning off the TV and not giving the ratings. And it shows in the ratings the millions and millions of dollars that they're losing because fans don't like that.
Everything is not about the money. There's
It's
right
not just the money, though. It's about the fans that don't like respect. They feel that's not respect.
It's not all about the fans.
The stands are even half empty. They're not even capacity.
But
there's right and there's right and there's wrong and wrong. It's not about the fans.
you know, it's always fun when Sandra comes on here, just like the female doctor thing. Remember that?
Oh, well,
Well, let's hear what Ben and Sally. Let's hear what Ben and Sally and Vaughn have to say, and Chris too.
I was say it may not be about the fans, but if
Joe was saying
if the NFL loses money, it will be about the fans.
Yeah. What? You know, right is right, wrong is wrong. There's right and there's wrong. It's not all about fans. It's not all about
fans make the money to continue in the first place.
It's not all about money. Forget about money.
But if fans don't watch, it is money.
Money.
But if fans don't watch, then they can't afford to have stadiums and maintain
money.
Well, you're still not. But the thing is, if there is no money to do anything, then there is no NFL. Then there's no.
What about right and wrong? What about right and wrong? It's got nothing to do with money. What about what is right? What is wrong?
What exactly is right? What are they actually accomplishing by taking the knee?
Oh, we have to ask that question now. Oh.
No, but what is that? What is that doing though? Is that improving the country, or maybe they'll go out there and they'll run for Congress and they'll try to make a difference? Like, I don't understand. What does taking the knee do anything for?
Well, the thing
he doesn't know about the difference between right and wrong, obviously.
No, I do know the difference right and wrong. And if I want something accomplished, and if I want a bill passed, or if I'm passionate about getting something done, then I'll actually take that step to get stuff done, or I'll go on interviews, or I'll do that. But they're taking the knee. They're not accomplishing anything.
Why do you think they are taking the knee?
I don't know.
Maybe
I know why Tabernacle is taking the knee, but why they're not taking the knee?
Wait a minute. Whoa. Here we go. Why are they taking the knee? Maybe you should investigate the root cause of why they are taking the knee. Investigate, try to understand.
Well, why don't they just speak to ESPN and NBC and force their opinion?
Whoa. The problem might be resolved if you could figure out why they're taking the knee. Just kind of figure it out for a moment.
How could I figure that out? What?
Maybe you should kind of ask them why they're
I don't really, first of all, that's not even my job to do that. That's like ESPN and NFL and ABC to do that. Because if they're losing money, they'll ask them, I guess.
So it's all about money to you.
It's not about money to me. I'm not losing hundreds of millions of dollars.
It's about money to you.
The NFL is losing hundreds of millions of dollars. I could care less.
You keep on bringing up money, but
I'm trying to explain to you that.
What about people are doing things for principled reasons? If you try to figure out why they're doing it,
well, what do you think about what Trump said?
Well, I don't know. Ask them.
Yeah, that's why they're doing it.
Wait.
Well, I'm sorry, but before Trump was president, that guy was kneeling though last year.
No, the other guys are
Well,
doing
could you
it
stop? Hold on.
because
Could you, again, I'm going to respect you, but do not mention my last name. I don't mention your last name or anything else, so do not do that, okay? I know you're angry, and I don't know, for some reason you're very angry, but do not do that on this case.
Just stop talking, everybody. Just so that everyone knows, she's not aware of that rule with things. So I told her, call him Joe.
Oh, I didn't know. But I mean, you know, maybe the idea, maybe if
like I'm Mike D, the head.
Oh, I didn't know. Well,
we do that to protect everybody in here, so that way they're not trolled in their real life.
It's all cool with things.
Stop for a minute.
Sandra is not being a hater. She's really impassioned about things. So don't get offended by that.
Maybe the problem may be kind of sold.
She gets triggered. She's an SJW. So.
No. If one stop.
I'm fucking around with you. Come on.
I know, but if one could try to maybe understand where these people are coming from, maybe kind of look into what is going on with them.
Well, you're a sexist.
Maybe.
Obviously.
No. Maybe if you ask them what they're so upset about, maybe
you're against a female. You're against a female doctor. Why the fuck should we listen to what you have to say?
Maybe they might get more understanding if they would kind of slow down and kind of say, okay, why are they upset?
Can I ask you something?
Listen to it.
Have you been triggered?
What are you talking about? Something so silly.
Do you need to save space?
No, I'm saying, if you're going to be offended by these people taking the knee, try to figure out why they're doing it.
So wait,
maybe they have a legitimate, maybe there's probably some legitimate reason.
Well,
they're not stupid.
What do you think about what Trump said tonight?
What did he say tonight?
Commenting
all kinds of bitches for doing it.
That they're all Trump said they're all
sons of bitches and should be fired for doing it.
Actually, he went to his base.
So you should be agreeing with.
He went to his base in Alabama. All the people that are
the rednecks.
Yeah, the rednecks. The people that really do things. But it's not a redneck country. I mean, he knows how to calm them and
there's a lot of SJWs too, right?
He says some stuff to them. They're going rah rah rah. Yeah, come on, think. Be critical thinking people.
Does Trump trigger you?
I got to tell you, before Trump was elected and when Colin did that last year, I was against it. Had nothing to do with the president. Had to do with him. Because he wasn't president back then. When Colin took the knee, because if he is first of all, if he is against police brutality, then why don't you talk about police brutality and maybe have charities against people, the victims against police brutality, and do something with Congress that they have actors all the time that they talk in the House of Representatives and everything. They speak their mind about what's wrong with this country to try to get a bill passed. Why don't he just do that instead of just? What does that have to do with the American flag that our forefathers fought for our freedom? For us to have that flag. That's a disrespect against veterans and everything else. It has nothing to do with police brutality.
This is what
me protesting against the friggin' United States because I don't like how my eggs were made right in a friggin' restaurant.
This is what.
It has nothing to do with anything. If you're against the police, that has nothing to do with the American flag.
He's not protesting in the way you want.
No, it's not the way I want.
No. You're saying he's not.
He's on the clock. He's an employee.
Maybe his choice of protesting is being silent, being elegantly silent, and not.
You don't have to be silent. He can speak in an interview.
I know he can, but he can also be silent as well. And
he stood at attention for 6 or 7 years.
What's wrong with being silent?
He stood at attention for 6 or 7 years when police brutality was happening.
Okay, I'm against blah blah blah.
He can be silent if he wants to. It's a
But
free
we don't know what he's silent about. That's the problem. If people remain silent for so often, people are going to see him taking the and he's being disrespectful to the flag. That's what's going to naturally happen. If he would come out, either during the halftime show or after the game and go and be interviewed either by ESPN or one of the local or national things saying, okay, this is why I took the knee.
On his free time.
Actually, I think
it has on his free time or his free time.
This has
But
been
if
discussed.
just come out and say, I'm protesting this. This is why I'm doing it. If you all would just understand and just stay calm and see that I'm protesting. There's brutality going over here.
If there is
that until it's rectified, I'm not going to stand it.
They have done that. You're not paying attention. They have done it. You're not paying attention.
I think I
You
know.
have to be fucking daft.
Is there a rule? Isn't there a rule that they're violating with their company that they work for, that they're not allowed to do that?
I think I know what the problem is. Colin Kaepernick did not get the itinerary like Dr. Lucas.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the problem. By the way, Sandra's not being a hater. She's very
No, I know.
passionate by
Very
this.
passionate.
I
She's
understand
dancing line tonight too, so you know.
First of all, when they signed the contract for millions of dollars, they knew what the contract said, that they have to stand at attention at the flag. There's no room for error. That was the rule. Now, it is a rule that in the NFL that they have to do that. If they do not do that, it's a violation against their contract. They can get fined or
Fucking
worse.
what? Let them get fucking fired then.
Guess who's back?
Why are you so worried about the contract anyway? It's freedom of speech. And
It's one thing if you're doing it on your free time.
Well,
You're doing it on their dime. That's a difference.
So you're their boss. You define.
No, I'm not their boss, but I know that if I have rules in the workplace, I'm going to follow the rules in the workplace because I want to make money still and keep my job. And if I want to protest when I'm out of the workplace, then I can protest.
What is?
I think the rule.
God damn.
What?
Come on.
Okay. I think the rules.
Vaughn's saying something. I'm going to hear what she says. Okay. So shut up, Sandra. God damn.
All right.
I think the root of this is perception, and I think that's the root of all of this. What? I mean, it's I mean, people gonna see it both ways. I mean, I for one think he has the right to do whatever he wants. He's a grown man. I can't tell him what to do in the field.
In this country, yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that he can do that, but on television, are some deep-rooted people that believe that is offensive, and it goes both ways. I mean, I do agree with everybody that says that he's a grown man, he should if he did it, obviously he wants to deal with the good and bad side of this. The fact that he's silent means that he don't want nobody to know. I mean, maybe one day we'll find out. Maybe not. But
when they had a rule with Saturday Night Live that they couldn't curse on the air. Martin Lawrence cursed on the air and was banned forever, and he violated the contract and the rule or whatever. So you can't just go on TV and curse. Or you can't show nudity on regular TV. There are rules. Even if you want to protest, you can't do that. You can't do that. No, but you can't do that. If you want to protest and you want to flash or do crazy stuff like cursing on the air, you can't do that.
So you have the rules of protest.
I'm talking about the rules.
A protest.
How about you need to ask?
But no,
what you thought of Star Trek tonight? Did you like Star Trek tonight? What did you think of it?
Attention. It was kind of
What did you think of it?
I paid no attention to that at all. I thought it was stupid.
Yeah, she didn't like Star Trek either. So.
Well,
but I don't understand what you're saying. You're saying he representing a company, a corporation, and they have a bylaw. But I don't know what the bylaws is.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, right. We don't know what the laws are, and the rules are, and
not doubting you. I just don't know if that's one, because I know in some companies they do have these stipulations where you have to you represent your image, basically.
Right, you do.
And but I think with some people, who feels very passionate about the flag, it's going to offend a lot of people just by doing it. Even though I'm not offended by it, he could have been praying, which is a whole different can of, a whole different beast if he was praying.
Anything he wants to be doing in this country, because this country is free, because the soldiers and the Marines have a thought for freedom of speech.
Could I read
You would not be allowed to do that.
Can I read the NFL rule on the air concerning this? So we have no room for error, really?
Yeah.
The specific rule pertaining to the national anthem is found on pages A62 to A63 of the NFL. Okay?
So
I'm just reading.
The rule
I'm reading. Can I read? You wanted to know if it was in the rule book. I'm telling you.
No, I didn't.
I'm reading.
I actually want to know this.
I will share this link. Okay.
Yeah, he's reading from the.
You wanted evidence. I'm giving you evidence. Now you're trying to silence my voice. Let me give you the evidence. The specific rule pertaining to the national anthem is found on pages A62 to 63 of the NFL League rulebook. It states the national anthem must be played prior to every NFL game, and all players must be on the sideline of the national anthem. During the national anthem, players on the field and bench area should stand at attention, face the flag, hold helmets in their left hand, and refrain from talking. The home team should ensure that the American flag is in good condition. It should be pointed out to players and coaches that we continue to be judged by the public in the area of respect for the flag and our country. Failure to be on the field by the start of the national anthem may result in discipline, such as fines, suspensions, and the forfeit of draft choices for violations of the above, including first offenses. And let me see what else it says. Hold on.
Rude.
What?
The enforcer.
What did you say, Chris?
The enforcer of those rules.
I didn't hear what Chris said. What did you say, Chris?
Yeah,
No, I said that you know the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it was the Steelers. They only had one player come out, so if they were in the back, they're probably going to lose all their draft picks. Which
Right.
really
There you
sucks.
go. There you go. And then that guy is going to be held responsible, I guess.
So why are you so worried about the interconnectedness and the money of the, you know, all
Yeah,
of
well,
that?
I'm actually not worried about the money. I'm actually worried about the disrespect to the American flag. And
That's the
disrespect to my
bigger picture of
country,
it, though.
basically.
Yeah, but I mean, it's respecting what they fought for.
Correct.
Under the symbol of the flag, which is freedom of speech.
Otherwise, go to Iran, go to Russia.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Go to Russia. Go to Iran.
Go to Russia for what? If my relatives fought in wars to defend this country, and we respect the flag, why would I want to go to Iran if I love this country?
Do you have to be made? Do you have to be made to respect?
Well, the flag is symbolic of an ideology.
First of all, my dad was in the Vietnam War. Okay, I had people in my family that were in the military that I respect, and I've been raised to respect more than anything else. Okay, so maybe I'm a little more passionate about it, that I've had family members that fought in the wars to defend this country. Maybe that's why. And it's not about the money. It's about respecting this country. Because I respect their
They fought for the right to disrespect, actually.
They fought for the right for free speech. First Amendment. First Amendment.
Whether you like it or not.
But again, this is also a whole other issue where they're signed a contract that they promised to obey the laws if they wanted to get all these perks as an employee of the NFL.
No, obey the rules, not the laws.
The rules said
laws are enforceable by government. Rules
correct, but the rules that they signed, they are violating.
We don't know that.
So we don't know that. They just said that they'll take draft picks away if they don't stand. So how is that? What part of that do we understand? Like they're violating.
You have your duty to speak your mind, and you have your duty to go along with what you to say what you.
So you'll sign a contract just to get millions of dollars, but then you'll disrespect all the rules that you signed that you would be a part of.
You're respecting. You're totally respecting You're saying. You're saying what's right and what's wrong. You're standing up for what's right.
And you do that off the clock, and you do that on your own free time, and not being a representative of NFL and the networks that are basically.
Why are you so worried about the NFL company? Look, stand up for what's right or wrong. It's either right or it's wrong. Simple.
Well, are we pledging allegiance to a material object or the ideal that it symbolizes? That's my question.
I would like to say this. I'm an ex-military person. So I think that to answer your question, Mike, it should be to what people, veterans, and everybody have fought for this country.
I agree with you. It would be
that, I mean, first and foremost, I mean, honestly, he could have done this in another way. He did it he has to deal with it. But if it's in that little rule thing, then he has to respect that. And I mean, honestly, the flag means more to me because I actually went out there and fought for this country.
But you know,
I agree.
And the military imbues soldiers with that mentality too.
Define
Of course.
and respect for the flag actually means dissenting whenever you have to. It's it involves that.
And
I
don't think Colin.
Because I'm an immigrant, and I took a test to become a citizen of this country, and I take it seriously. And you don't blindly do stuff.
I think the media
put thought into it.
I think the media.
And I take it seriously.
I think the media has used this to rile people up and create more divisiveness in the country. I think Kaepernick silently was doing what he did, and I think the media has made a big deal about him disrespecting the flag. It's not about the flag. I think, if anything, Colin Kaepernick is representing true patriotism by quiet dissent with something that he feels strongly about, and he's not being violent about it. He's not going and trashing people's cars and breaking windows.
But one thing he has
and the media are great at creating divisiveness with Americans, and they are great at that because it makes them.
There is one good thing that has come about this. It's caused a conversation. It's caused a conversation about this, which is good, I think.
Why isn't Kaepernick protesting now?
What?
Why isn't he protesting now?
Why are you asking that?
Well, because he was protesting when he had a job, and now he doesn't have a job. So I think he wants to get his job back. So why isn't he taking the knee now?
Why are you asking that?
Well, because it's kind of very telling that he's not taking the knee now, and he's not speaking out because he wants his job back. Because they don't want to hire him back because he disrespected their rules. So if he wants his job back so bad, why don't he go on the air and keep saying what he's saying? Why don't he protest?
You're making no
That's
sense.
very telling. It means that he's a phony.
This is why I
because now he feels he's screwed up and he wants his job back. So he wants to kiss up and respect the sport because he don't have a job right now. So
he don't have a job right now, don't he?
But is he protesting right now? No, he is not. He is not going on the air. He is not saying anything because he's trying to be quiet because he wants his job back, basically. That's why. So, but if you protest, if you have strongly against something, you don't do it part-time. You do it full-time. You do it all the time. So why would he just stop all of a sudden? Now he's just stopped protesting.
Well,
isn't that a hypocrite, though? Isn't that a hypocrite? Isn't he a hypocrite, though? Isn't he a hypocrite, though? Because if he believed strongly about the cause, he would go on Entertainment Tonight. He would go on all these things now without a job and say the same damn thing. That it would never change. His ideals would never change.
So you've got all the protesting.
No, I don't. I don't got all
well,
the
obviously you do.
I want to answer that question. Why isn't he protesting now?
I think
you've got the protesting rules down.
I just want to know why does he have to protest when he gets paid millions of dollars to protest? I want to know why he's not protesting now.
Well, here's the thing. I think Kaepernick did not want to make this like some huge thing. He was quietly dissenting about something he wanted to protest against. And the media have blown this up to such a huge proportion that when he's like quiet about it, it doesn't mean that he doesn't have like any less belief in what he was standing for.
Why does he have to?
When he was kneeling.
Why does he have to meet his expectations?
It's not my expectation.
I know,
but
it doesn't have to meet my expectations.
Saying,
who am I? I don't work for the NFL.
Joe's sharing his opinion like everybody here. We all are.
He's saying like you have to meet all these, expectations of why. He's still.
You don't have to meet expectations. I'm saying if I have a cause and I support a cause, I don't stop after a while. I continue with that cause. All right.
But that's you. He's doing it, and he's free to do it. And
but if he's going to put himself on the front line by taking a knee,
so
he's going to put himself on the front line by taking a knee, then he needs to be doing it 24/7. You
Yeah.
can't one day because I'm not on unemployment. I don't have to do anything.
He's only going to do it if he's paid. So wait a minute. He's only doing it if he's paid to do it, right?
Pretty much.
If he's paid millions of dollars,
I'm passionate about
if he's not paid, he's not going to do it. He doesn't. Even like his own girlfriend said, basically, that he's phony baloney. His own girlfriend said he's phony baloney. So
what? You're defining how someone should protest.
No, I'm saying he got paid to protest, didn't he?
Doesn't matter.
I mean,
he can protest how he wants to. It's not for you to judge how we should.
I'm not going to judge. The NFL's going to judge. The NFL's going to judge. They're just not going to hire him because he lost them millions of dollars. I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
It's not about the money. He's judging.
When he can't afford his massive house and money, then it is about the money.
Why are you bringing money into it? He's choosing to do it how he wants to, and who are you?
Okay, God bless him.
Who are you to judge?
I'm not judging. I'm just saying that it's funny how he's getting paid to be on the field and respect the sport, and it's not respecting the sport because they don't want to see that on the air. The NFL, they don't want to see that.
You're judging.
They said in the rule book. No, it's not judging. It says in the rule book they don't want to see that.
You're judging.
I'm not. It's the rule.
You're judging.
It's in the NFL rule book. Why do we have to, as society, be with chaos and break all the rules for an agenda? It's in the rule book. It's the rules, though. If you work, it is stupid.
You're stupid.
I'm glad you, as an immigrant, call me stupid. Right?
Stupid.
Yeah, good. God bless you. All right, but anyway.
All right. Let's hear some other folks.
In this corner.
Notice I won't say anything back.
Go get some more wine, Sandra.
You think she's been sober all this time?
Oh, come on.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but I mean,
anyway,
I think he's been conned by the big man with the teeth.
You've been conned? What? He's been conned by the big man with the what?
The teeth.
Oh, I thought she said the teeth. She meant T. Trump.
The small T, the big R.
I was against him before Trump was even elected.
Sandra, she's talking about you've been conned by Trump, apparently.
This has nothing to do with what Trump says.
I know, Trump spoke against what happened with these players taking a knee.
So what does that have to do with it? I was watching 60 Minutes and I saw something that Trump said against McCain and I was totally against it. What does that have to do with anything? I wasn't for Trump in bashing American soldiers. Maybe it's because I had family in the military. I was pissed about it. I was pissed when I watched the 60-minute special and I saw Trump being a friggin' jerk off saying something against McCain. What does that have to do with this thing about the flag? I don't understand.
Well, Trump is being such, he's...
this has nothing to do with Trump, though. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It has nothing to do with him. No, I've been against this since last year.
You're not listening. He is like... he's conning the masses, which is...
I'm not listening to his freaking tweet about the NFL.
No,
this has something to do with.
No.
Listen.
SJW.
I
don't half the stuff that is said. I don't agree with.
Let's take a long look back. Not about the NFL, but like you basically have been conned by Trump.
What is this? But this has nothing to do with Trump. This situation. This has been going on since he was elected.
Not this situation. Just like.
We're not talking about Trump, though. We're talking about the freaking. The anthem and what are you talking about? We're not talking, but this is not a show we're talking about, who is the Democrats or Republicans better, or is Trump better or Hillary better? No, it has nothing to do with Trump. He can speak about it all he wants. I don't even care about that.
Sandra's all for building the wall.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, build the wall. Like all these people, come on.
Listen, first of all, don't think for 1 minute. Don't think for 1 minute. My opinion. First, again, I'm just telling you, this has nothing to do with him. So how is that? Why are you trying to throw that into the situation?
Because the way you're talking.
There was police brutality last year that had nothing to do with Trump. You just don't like Trump, so you want to use this as an outlet to bash Trump. This is not about that.
Oh,
People,
really?
Colin Kaepernick was against the police brutality.
Really?
That has nothing to do with Trump. Does that have to do with Trump? Did Trump cause police brutality like decades ago? No. What does that have to do with anything?
There you go.
But I'm just trying to find out the reasoning behind it because you're not making any sense. So we're talking about the national anthem, and we're talking about taking the knee, and it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has to do with this started last year. So again, I understand I understand that he tweeted about it, but that's not what this is about.
Oh, it's not.
No, it isn't. It's about the story that came out today that they're scared that they're losing tons of money. They don't even know what to do. Half the owners want to fire the players, and then half of them don't. Because now the tweet that he did made matters worse because, yes, now they feel they're pressured to give an answer on the subject, but this has nothing to do with him.
So money is the most important thing in this picture.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Why do you keep on bringing it up?
I'm bringing it up because, again, it has to do with the contract that they signed. It's their job.
Why are you focused on the money?
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Why?
We're talking about them taking a knee to
Why do you keep on bringing up money all the time and contracts when you can be talking about actually what is right and what's wrong? You keep on bringing up money.
We could do casts where we talk about what's right and wrong. We're just talking about one subject on
We're talking about money?
Cast. No, we're not talking about money. We're talking about people that signed a contract to obey rules that they took a job to respect on TV the sport by standing at attention to the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. And they're not doing that. And they're trying to create a statement.
So do you think
it's causing a whole bunch of problems where fans are disgusted with it and they're shutting it off.
I think.
And of course,
so what about right and wrong?
Hold on.
I think he's looking at the long-term effects of this.
He's looking at it like narrowly, money and stuff.
Narrowly? First of all, if nobody watches the NFL, they won't be around. Then a lot of people out of jobs. It will cause a shift in the economy, which will cause a lot of people to be on unemployment. No?
So
overall, so it will affect millions of families that have people in the NFL. Wait, so in other words, because people taking the knee for their personal beliefs that should be done on their time, a whole company could go under, right? And all these people that have moms and dads that they look up to pay for the bills could be out of work because of a few individuals that decide to basically speak their word on the NFL's time on the clock.
All it takes is people to speak up. People have to speak up for the right
on their time.
No, Nazi Germany, people didn't speak up.
Of course, okay, they spoke up.
People have to speak up for what is right, not necessarily about a time. It's either right or it's wrong. It's right or it's wrong.
But it's a time and place for everything.
Yes, there's a time and place. That's the whole point. Do it in your freaking free time.
Sometimes there's no time. There's no place. Sometimes it's the wrong time.
There's always time
to speak up for something that is right.
There's always time to speak up. You need to take that moment to speak up or you don't.
It's not. Maybe it's not convenient.
You either shit or you get off the pot. You either speak up or you don't speak up. You make time. You make time. If you want to speak about something, you make time, damn it. You make time and you speak.
Convenient.
That is a stupid answer. You make time if you want to accomplish something.
Sometimes it's not convenient.
God
to do the right thing.
That's a total excuse if ever I heard one. You can probably use that excuse for every damn subject. I don't have the time.
I got
to do it on the NFL's time. Okay.
Going where I'm hearing now, because we don't know what he was doing. I mean, he could have been praying for the team. I don't know if they win or lost or what happened throughout that game. But this kind of seems to me that if there is something dealing with the company, it'll be like going into like your workplace. Well, see, even if you went into your workplace, nobody cares. But the fact that nobody wouldn't care less if it wasn't aired on television. Like if he did this off camera and nobody was looking, it wasn't filmed, nobody would probably care. It would just be, hey, he did it. I think the problem is that it was aired on national television, and they looking at the fact that the team represents a company, and that even though he had the right to do it, I'm not saying he didn't have the right to do it. I mean, it looked to them as a disrespectful manner, and I think that's the problem here. And this is going beyond if the team makes money or not. It's a business first and foremost. They're looking at this one player and they say, "Hey, what are you doing?" Millions of people watch this game, and I think that's the problem of this whole situation, is that perception and fact that this was aired on national television, and it didn't put the NFL in a respectable light. I'm sorry.
Now everybody's taking a knee.
But that's money.
Everybody's taking a knee. Now it's reached baseball too.
But that's
Everybody.
money.
They're all doing it now, players.
But the problem is in the NFL today, that's just it. Money is the key thing. Is it right? No. But hold on. Is it right? No. But in U.S. culture right now, money is what makes everything run and burn. And if one person is causing somebody to pretty much burn up too much money, or is not giving them the right amount of money, they're out. And if they're showing the flag disrespect to them, if you're going to get paid X amount of bucks, and in your contract it says right there in the fine print, upper print, whatever print, that you must do this, this, and this, otherwise you don't get paid, and they go against this, this, and this, they lose the right to complain.
It's all man, right?
And in the end, everything is about money.
But they don't.
Sorry to say that, but if it's going to be about money, it's going to be about
consequences. But they don't. You never lose the right, but you do take the consequences.
And he took the consequences because he's unemployed right now.
But you never lose the right to speak up in this country. In this,
then why is he not speaking up when he's off the clock?
You don't.
Yeah, why isn't he speaking up now? I still don't understand that.
The right in this country. You can say whatever
Nobody said he loses the rights, but he's not speaking up now.
In this country.
And nobody said he's losing the rights, but he's not speaking up now.
Yeah.
How do you know? What are your rules?
Okay,
I don't see him on TV, do you?
So you're saying he has to speak up?
No, I'm not saying he has to. That's like a typical.
So why are you saying
everybody's connected to the social or whatever social event, social media? Where is it popping up on social media? Where is it popping on?
So basically, everybody has a right to protest. Everybody has a right to protest, and everybody protested by turning it off. Where the NFL lost money, and they decided not to resign him. So
you're the king and queen of the world about how.
Well, no, I'm not a queen. You're at SJW, so you're talking about queens. The equation, but I'm not. That's not me. I don't have the rules. I'm just pointing out a fact. He's unemployed right now.
Rules of how somebody can speak up.
I didn't say about the rules speaking up. He can do whatever he wants. He could speak up as much as he wants. But if he's gonna violate the rules, and if his contract is up, then they're not gonna re-sign him.
Okay. So you've got the rules about how somebody can conduct themselves.
By the way, Sandra's got a pussy in it.
If he promises to not do something, if he signs a contract and promises that he's going to do something, and he totally goes against that contract,
that's on him.
It is, and it is on him because it happened. That's what I'm saying.
So shut up then.
But
excuse me.
Whoa!
How does that make any sense?
By the way, this is how she. By the way, this is how she is without her pussy hat on.
Oh God!
Her pink SJW hat. You still have it?
No, I gave it away.
All right.
Oh,
this has been fun. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Mike D.
Just open up your ears and listen.
My ears are listening. I'm listening to your nonsense. Take care. Bye for now.